probably one of the hardest things for me was not everybody trained like me. And that was the biggest obstacle that I had to overcome. I had a, I just did a podcast with a very good friend of mine, another well-known and well-respected instructor in the field, Craig Douglas. And we were talking on the podcast, and he's like, dude, I can remember when I first got into this business that whenever your name got dropped, it was always with this serious tone that like, oh, that's no shit. That's like, yeah. Because back in the day, I Adam, I know that you've been through one of our classes, but back in the day, the program was a lot different. It was, I would go so far as to say it was a lot harder. And it was a reflection of how I trained. Yes. That's how I trained. That's all I knew. That the way that the original programming that we started with was basically raw, unfiltered training that we were doing at the time. And I realized that, this is not what people were expecting. This is not, people really, they didn't realize that it was this hard, or they didn't realize there was this much at stake, or they didn't realize it was going to take this much effort. And so with time, we changed the way that our programs flow, you know. And like I said, like we used to do what we had two program tracks. We had an instructor track and we had an operator track, and that was it. That was it. You were either in one of those two. You were either an operator or you were an instructor. And, you know, as time went on, we had to kind of change that a little bit and, you know, diversify both operator and instructor, because again, an instructor to us does not necessarily mean the same thing as the instructor in this kind of industry, if you will. So it's that was another change too. I came from a professional schoolhouse where that was your job. Your job was to be an instructor, and the amount of time and energy that the Navy expended on actually training you to be an instructor was also very different. So, you know, these were things that were to some extent a culture shock to me. I had thought that everybody would see things the way that I did, which is how I trained, you know, the intensity, the frequency, and the duration.
No,
not so much. But it's changed, and you know, everything's cyclical, so some things, you know, ebb and flow kind of thing. But I still feel like that was the hardest thing that I had to accommodate, which was not everybody is looking at it the same way as I am.